In a world that never stops talking, the most dangerous person in the room is the one who listens. Look around you. We live in the age of the overshare. People are addicted to broadcasting their thoughts, their plans, their weaknesses, and their victories. They believe that visibility is power. They believe that if they are not seen, they do not exist. They mistake volume for strength and attention for respect, but they are wrong. While they are busy shouting for validation, they are bleeding information. They are handing over the blueprints of their minds to anyone patient enough to watch. They are making themselves predictable, and therefore manipulable. If you are watching this, you have likely felt the urge to withdraw, to step back into the shadows while others fight for the spotlight. You have felt that your silence is not a weakness, but a fortress. You are right. Today, we are going to explore the dark art of the strategic observer. We will look through the lens of Machiavelli, Sun Tzu, and Baltasar Gracián to understand why the most powerful move you can make is to close your mouth and open your eyes. We will analyze why being underestimated is the ultimate tactical advantage, and how you can use the fog of silence to control outcomes without ever drawing a sword. The economy of information. Let's begin with the fundamental currency of human interaction: information. In any negotiation, any relationship, or any conflict, the person with the most information wins. It is a simple law of asymmetry. If I know everything about you, your fears, your desires, your triggers, and you know nothing about me, I own you. Most people do not understand this economy. They treat words like confetti, throwing them into the air to entertain the crowd. They tell their co-workers about their side hustles. They tell their rivals about their insecurities. They tell the internet about their next move. They do this because they are driven by the ego's need to be understood. They want to be seen as smart, capable, or interesting. But the Machiavellian strategist suppresses this need. He understands that every word he speaks is a data point he is giving away. As Robert Greene famously wrote in the 48 Laws of Power, always say less than necessary. Why? Because the moment you speak, you define yourself. You become solid. You become a target. Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese military strategist, taught that the ultimate warrior is formless. If your enemy cannot see your form, he cannot prepare against you. When you are silent, you are formless. People project their own thoughts onto you. They fill in the blanks, and usually, what they imagine is far more intimidating than the reality. By saying nothing, you force others to reveal themselves. Silence makes people uncomfortable. Humans are social animals. We are wired to fill silence because it feels like a threat. So, when you stay quiet, the other person will start talking. They will babble. They will reveal more than they intended just to break the tension. You are not just being quiet, you are harvesting intelligence. You are letting them hand you the knife they will eventually be cut with. The power of being a ghost. There is a concept in intelligence agencies known as the gray man. The gray man is an operative who is so unremarkable, so average, and so quiet that he is instantly forgotten. He blends into the background. He is not the loud alpha male in the center of the room beating his chest. He is the guy standing near the exit, checking the angles. Society teaches you to want to be the alpha, to be the loudest, to dominate. But the ghost knows that the alpha is just a lightning rod. The alpha attracts all the attacks. Everyone wants to take down the king. No one worries about the pawn until the pawn is checkmating them. This brings us to the core of our strategy, the art of being underestimated. Being underestimated is a gift. It is a cloak of invisibility. When people think you are stupid, slow, or irrelevant, they lower their guard. They speak freely around you. They don't bother to hide their plans because they don't view you as a threat. This is the Trojan horse strategy. You present a harmless exterior, a wooden horse, a quiet employee, a nice friend, to get inside the walls. Once you are inside, once you have their trust and their secrets, you have the power to strike, or simply to influence the outcome without them ever knowing it was you. Baltasar Gracián, the 17th century Jesuit philosopher, advised, "Do not show your hand. Let no one know the extent of your abilities. If you show your full intelligence immediately, you trigger envy and defensiveness. People hate those who make them feel inferior. If you are the smartest person in the room and you show it, you will be sabotaged. But if you play the fool, if you ask simple questions, if you let others explain things to you, you stroke their ego. You make them feel superior. And a person who feels superior is a person who is blind to the dagger in your sleeve." The Sphinx's riddle. Let's deepen the psychological analysis. Why does silence create authority? Think of the most powerful figures in history or fiction. The Godfather, the Stoic general, the monk on the mountain. They speak in short, cryptic sentences. They pause before answering. They never rush. This is the archetype of the Sphinx. A person who says little appears to be holding back immense reserves of power. We assume that the quiet person is thinking deep thoughts, even if they are thinking about what to eat for lunch. Silence creates a vacuum of meaning. When you delay your response, you signal that you are in control of time. The weak person rushes to answer because they are afraid of losing the other person's attention. The powerful person takes their time because they know the other person will wait. This control of tempo is crucial. In a heated argument, the person who is shouting and interrupting has already lost. They have lost control of their emotions. They have revealed that they are affected. The person who remains silent and stares calmly at the shouter is the one holding the frame. Silence is the ultimate non-reaction, and in the game of power, who reacts less rules. The discipline of the void. However, implementing this strategy is physically painful. We are biologically wired to want to correct people. When we hear someone say something wrong, our ego screams, "I know the answer. Let me show you I am smart." Schopenhauer called this the vanity of the intellect. We want to shine. We want to be recognized. To be the strategic observer, you must kill this vanity. You must develop the discipline of the void. You must be willing to let people think you are wrong, even when you are right. You must be willing to let people think you are boring. Even when you are fascinating, you must detach your self-worth from the opinions of others. This is where Stoicism intersects with Machiavellianism. You need the Stoic internal fortress to withstand the urge to speak. You need to be so secure in your own value that you don't need to prove it to the room. The moment you try to prove you are the boss, you are no longer the boss. The moment you try to prove you are smart, you look insecure. True power is indifferent. It does not need to advertise itself. Think of the ocean. The surface might be choppy and noisy, but the deep ocean, the part that crushes submarines, is silent and dark. Be the deep ocean. The trap of vulnerability. Modern society pushes a dangerous narrative. Be vulnerable. Bring your whole self to work. Open up. While vulnerability has its place in deep, intimate relationships with a select few. Treating the world as your therapist is suicide. Machiavelli would look at modern social media and laugh in horror. We have created a culture where victimhood is currency. People compete to show how damaged they are. But in the real world, the cold, indifferent world of business, hierarchy, war, and survival, your vulnerability is just a gap in your armor. When you reveal your struggles to the wrong people, you are not building connection. You are giving them ammunition. A rival will remember your insecurity and use it to gaslight you later. A boss will remember your complaint and view you as unstable when promotion time comes. The art of being underestimated requires you to be a black box. Inputs go in, you listen, you observe, but the internal mechanism is hidden. No one knows exactly what you are thinking or feeling. This unpredictability is terrifying to your enemies. If they don't know what hurts you, they don't know where to strike. If they don't know what you want, they can't bribe you. The strategist's eye. So, what do you do while you're being silent? You are not just zoning out. You are engaging in active profiling. When you stop focusing on what you are going to say next, your brain frees up massive processing power to analyze the other person. You look for the tells. What topics make them nervous? Who do they look at when they laugh? This reveals who they seek approval from. What do they brag about? This reveals what they feel they lack. What do they avoid mentioning? This reveals their secrets. You are building a psychological model of everyone around you. You are mapping the terrain. Most people are playing checkers. They only see the piece in front of them. By observing, you are playing chess. You see the whole board. You see the alliances, the resentments, the hidden agendas. This is the superpower of the introvert. While the extroverts are busy broadcasting, the introvert is downloading the room. And when you finally do speak, it hits like a sniper shot. Because you have waited. Because you have gathered all the data. Your words are precise. You don't waste ammo. You say the one thing that solves the problem, or the one thing that shuts down the argument. And because you rarely speak, people listen. Scarcity creates value. If gold was as common as sand, it would be worthless. If you talk all the time, your words are sand. If you talk rarely, your words are gold. The shadow strategy in action. Let's look at a practical application. Imagine a high-stakes meeting or a family conflict. The normal person interrupts, defends himself immediately, raises his voice, and lays all his cards on the table. Result, he is transparent. He can be countered easily. He looks emotional and weak. The strategic observer sits back, leans, physically, slightly away from the table, maintains neutral eye contact. listens to everyone else's demand, notes who is allied with whom. When asked for his opinion, he pauses. He asks a question instead of making a statement. Result: he directs the conversation without taking a stance yet. He forces others to work for him. He appears wise. He keeps his leverage until the very end. This is the essence of Wu Wei, or effortless action. You are not forcing the river. You are steering the boat with small movements of the rudder. The danger of isolation. Warning is necessary here. There is a difference between strategic silence and social paralysis. Some people stay quiet because they are terrified. They are afraid of being judged. This is not power. This is cowardice. The art of being underestimated is a choice. It is the deliberate restraint of a capable beast. You are capable of biting, but you choose to keep your mouth closed. Do not confuse this strategy with being a doormat. If someone crosses a red line, you must strike. And because you have been quiet, your strike will be shocking. It will have the element of surprise. The goal is not to be a monk who withdraws from the world. The goal is to be a spy within the world. To be in the game, but not of the game. The architect of shadows. We are entering an era of noise. The world is getting louder, faster, and more chaotic. The signal-to-noise ratio is plummeting. In this environment, the person who can detach, observe, and withhold judgment is an apex predator. You do not need to be the loudest voice to change the world. History is full of gray men who pulled the strings from behind the curtain. The advisors, the strategists, the quiet inventors. By adopting the persona of the strategic observer, you reclaim your time. You reclaim your mental energy. You stop performing for an audience that doesn't care about you. You realize that you don't need their applause. You need their pieces on the board. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you are slow. Let them think you are shy. Let them think you are average. Let them construct a cardboard version of you in their minds. And while they are boxing with the cardboard, you are flanking them. You are already 3 moves ahead, moving in the blind spot of their ego. There is a profound freedom in being a mystery. When you are defined, you are confined. When you are undefined, you are limitless. The world wants you to be a character in its show. It wants you to read your lines, hit your marks, and be predictable. Reject the script. If you are ready to stop talking and start seeing, if you are ready to trade the cheap validation of the crowd for the cold, hard power of the shadow, then you are in the right place. But do not tell anyone you subscribe to this channel. Keep it to yourself. Let this be your secret advantage. Subscribe. And remember, see everything, say nothing.